vidya dadati vinayam, vinayadh yati pathratham, patratvat Dhanamapnoti Dhanat Dharmam tatah suKham. What does this mean, Amma?
The word meaning vidya, education, knowledge, dadati, gives, vinayam, humility. Vinayadh, with humility, yati, one gets, pathratham, capabilities, ability, skills. Patratvat, from his capabilities, dhanam, wealth, apnoti, the person gets. Dhanath, from wealth, dharmam, the person performs ritualistic activities, religious duties, obligations to the society. Thathah, thereon, suKham, the person gets peace, happiness. Now the translation. From getting good knowledge, the person becomes humble. With humility, the person learns a lot of things and becomes more and more capable. When the person is capable and skilled, he acquires wealth. With this wealth, the person can perform a lot of good deeds and perform his obligations to the society. Thereon, he becomes peaceful, happy, content.
We're joined in this episode by Archith again.
Hi again, Madhavi and Malini. It's good to be back. I'd first like to talk about my personal experience with job interviews. I've had a career which has taken me to different companies, performing different jobs, as well as responsibilities. This has added and made my resume quite colorful. But this has come at a cost. Every time I attend an interview, there is a person who always asks me, Archith, you've done so much in such little time. You've jumped from one career path to another. You have done well in each of these places. I've also got recommendation letters. But what is it that you want with us? Are you going to be able to stick with us? And are you going to be able to continue and do good over here? This particular Subhashitha reminded me of this experience so profoundly because I always tell the interviewer that all the outings that I've had in my career are in some way or the other related. I have contributed in each of the companies that I've worked in. While working, I have also gained a lot of skill and the ability to work along with different people who come in the industry. And this has given me a lot of satisfaction. Now, with this satisfaction, I will be able to help not only the company that I'm working for, but also the activities that the company does in order to cater to society as well as to the world at large. So this particular experience sums up the whole Subhashita in its whole.
Archith, when you were speaking about your work experiences, the word that kept coming up in my mind is the Japanese word Ikigai. Ikigai is a concept that refers to something that gives a person a strong sense of purpose, the reason for their living. It is a motivating force. So you say that a person has reached their Ikigai when their passion, their mission, their vocation, and profession intersect. You are using the abilities in the best possible way, and that makes you happy. That's when you are in the state of Ikigai.
This story is about Sri Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, the famous Bengali author and reformist. He was known for his humility. Vidyasagar was traveling in a train, and a young man, well dressed, suited, was also traveling with him. Both of them got down on the same platform. The young man was very flustered. He could find no porter to carry his luggage. Vidyasagar, in his humble dhoti and the typical Bengali dress, offered to carry his luggage for him. The next day, when this young man came to the conference, he was horrified to see the same gentleman sitting as the head of the conference. This shows the humility of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar.
That's a really nice story, Malini. I am going to be talking about Detective Gordon. This is one of the characters that we see recurring in every one of Batman's renditions. Detective Gordon fits the description of this particular Subhashita perfectly. Firstly, Detective Gordon is someone who is absolutely devoted to the police force. He's a skilled cop, and his ability to deduct and deduce are much above everybody else. With this comes another flaw. The flaw that Detective Gordon has is that he is honest. But because of Gotham City's corruption, he is not able to get the promotion that he deserves. Now, Batman is able to see who is good and who is bad in the system. And he trusts Detective Gordon not only with the history that he has had and shared with him, but also because of the fact that he knows that Gordon is a straight guy. As per the Subhashita, vidya, dadati, vinayam means that Gordon is a skilled cop and he knows his craft very well. Vinayadh, yati, pathratham. Now, this makes a skilled cop also learn and become good at his craft, and he's able to perform and he's able to bring something to the table. Patratvat, Dhanamapnoti. This means that he is able to use his skill and also gain a good reputation for the police department. But the Dhanam over here is not physical or materialistic. The Dhanam over here is his ability to associate along with Batman and bring down crime in the city for good. Dhanath Dharmam thathah suKham. That translates to a healthy environment and a healthy city in which Gotham can thrive and in which the people are safe and happy. I dedicate this particular Subhashita to my love for Detective Gordon from the Batman series.
Archith, I liked how you took the values talked about in this Subhashita and applied that to a fictional character. Fantastic. I want to bring us back into our material world. I want to talk about effective altruism. Effective altruism is about using evidence, reason, and data to figure out what is the best way to do good in the world. This idea has been popularized by the author and moral philosopher William MacAskill, who is also a professor at the University of Oxford. In the limited amount of time and the limited resources that you have, money or otherwise, what is the best way for you to do the maximum good to the world? This is a question he asks each one of us to ask ourselves. Is it through donations that you can help the world? Through voting the right leaders? Through reducing your consumption, your carbon footprint? What is it? This should be a practice that we have throughout our lives. William has also written a book called Doing Good Better. And in this, he asks us a question and goes on to explain the reasoning. If you have the abilities to become a top notch scientist or a top notch surgeon or a top notch engineer, or go into any field where you're making a whole lot of money, then what is the best use of your time? Should you be doing that work, earning that money, and donating it? Or should you be using your time instead to actually do the work of volunteering at an organization? You can think about what brings you the most satisfaction in the moment. But if you want to have a larger impact, then you working your job, earning more money, and donating a major part of your income is probably the best way for you to contribute to the world. William MacAskill has actually spoken to several billionaires and got them to commit large chunks of their wealth to various charities. He does not recommend blindly giving, so give it based on the data where you see that the charity is actually having a good impact. So there is follow up, there's data to drive your decisions. Your dhana is now converted to dharma, where dharma I'm interpreting as doing good to the world. And naturally, through all of this, you're bringing about happiness in the world, and you personally are also going to be fulfilled.
We have a proverb in Kannada, Tumbid Koda Tulkalla, translating it, a pot that is full will not slosh. Roughly in English, we have a somewhat related proverb, empty vessels make more noise. What does this mean? A person who is really knowledgeable, scholarly, and filled with humility, will not throw about his knowledge unwantedly and display it vulgarly.
I find it really interesting that one particular Subhashita is able to bring out so much from just the three of us. Now imagine all the stories and all the conversations that our listeners are able to think of. Tell us what you think about our Subhashitas and what you associate with. Now, I'd like to end with another story that was probably featured during nursery for me. This was called The Axe and the River. There is this particular woodcutter who goes to a forest and is cutting trees. The axe that he's using falls off into the river. He isn't able to go inside the river and retrieve this particular axe. So the river goddess comes to him and she says, "My son, is this the axe that fell into the river?" And she hands him a golden axe. Delighted by what he sees, the woodcutter says, "Yes, yes, that's mine." And then the goddess says, "No, this is not the axe that fell into the river, and you are lying. Get out of here." Many years later, there came another woodcutter in the same place. His axe also fell into the river. This time, the goddess came and said, "My son, is this the axe that fell into the river?" And she shows him a silver axe. The woodcutter looks at the goddess and says, "No, that is not the axe that fell into the river." She goes down. Lo and behold, this time she brought a golden axe. The woodcutter looks at it and he says, "No, this is not the axe that fell into the river." Then she goes down and brings the original axe. And the woodcutter says, "Yes, that is what fell into the river." The goddess gives him all three axes as a reward. So the moral of the story here is that the woodcutter knows the capabilities of his axe and also knows that his axe is the only one that is going to yield him the result that he wants. If he uses the golden axe, the axe is going to break. If he uses the silver axe, a similar result. But if he uses his own axe, he has a chance of being able to use that axe for the rest of his life. That is his livelihood, that is his humility, and that is showcased in this particular story.
So that's it for today. Let us know what you thought about this. Do write to us, send it to us in the comments. See you in the next episode.